I forgot what body part that was. Okay. It's the nose, isn't it? Yes. It's a baby nose, I will say. Right. It's a baby nose for a reason. Here's the thing. I think, I believe that from the very beginning, we are, you and I, all wonderfully, beautifully, lovingly created to be perfectly and exactly who we are. Some of you are already thinking, he's not talking to me, is he? We'll come to that in just 1 second. I know this is true. It's not just that I believe that. I believe that. I have checked into this. I've done some research. I've talked to a very large number of infants under the age of 1. And last night I talked to Chewie and Yoda, our dogs, just to make sure that I was covering all of creation, like the animal kingdom too. And none of them have disagreed with me. I guess it depends on what you consider a disagreement. So crying and screaming probably. But anyway, we've talked about it. In the very beginning, you are wonderfully, beautifully, perfectly made. And then we learn stuff. And we learn things, and we learn things about gender and color and size and shape. And we learn things about fashion and style and competitiveness. And we learn all this stuff, and it changes our view. Unfortunately. I wish it didn't. I wish we could all understand, like, just start with, wherever we go with it, start with, we are all wonderfully and perfectly and beautifully made exactly the way we are. One of the ways in which that is so obvious, because last week we were talking about the body. Like Paul writes this letter to the people in Corinth about how we're all like parts of the body. And we're all individually parts of the body. We could be any part of the body, but we're part of the body. That's the important part, right? That's the important part. We're all part of the same body. But our idea of body image is not very positive because we've learned stuff. We've learned stuff about appearance and skills and things that we think matter. And then we get really competitive about them. And instead of it being a question of sharing and recognizing the beauty in all things, it becomes a question of like valuing them, and some are better than others and all that stuff, and it's just crazy making. And one of the places where that starts is with this. All this. And we find that there are people who are, we came up with words, so that we could label them, and we've used words like handicapped and disabled. And then not only did we use those words to describe people who had challenges that needed support and encouragement and our help, it also then became a question of value and exclusion. Or at the very least, it's so much work to be inclusive. Go back for a moment. See, I think God knows us. I don't think for a moment God knows words like disabled and handicapped. In fact, I think because God knows us from the beginning, perfectly, beautifully, lovingly, exactly who we are, I think God would say person abled. God might like adjust that a little bit so we might understand it as differently abled and say differently abled. as long as we understand that different is a good thing, but differently abled. But I think God would go person-abled, because God knows you, and God knows me, and God knows us exactly who we are and how we are. And God knows that where that starts is perfectly, lovingly, beautifully made, just as you are. Because we're all children of God, all of us. And however we may appear, sound, move, we are all beloved children of God. And at the very least, if we require support, if we require encouragement, if we require care, what did Paul say about that? He said, all the parts of the body require care. All the parts of the body are valued. All the parts of the body are important. In fact, the lesser ones, the ones that seem to need encouragement and support, are in fact the greater ones. Because we're all lovingly, beautifully made. All children of God.